Showtime! The Capital G Show starts right now.
What's up YouTube, Capital G here, talking about draw support / draw power in the game and bringing up the issue of maybe we have too much of a good thing right now. So I was playing against Dragon Rulers yesterday, the Dragunity version to be exact, and I'll admit I've struggled with that specific version of the deck a lot, you know, and predictably dude's wiping the floor with me, and you know, I'm just getting wrecked, and I'm playing various versions of Dragon Rulers throughout the night. And I'm constantly trying to adjust my side deck, you know, throwing in cards like Fossil Dyna and a bunch of different other things, trying to figure out why I'm having so much trouble with Dragon Rulers, trying to figure out if maybe there are other techs out there that I'm just not knowing about. But even after sighting, I'm realizing my opponents are hitting their key cards earlier than I am. You know what I mean? They're getting to Decree faster than I'm getting to my either Iron Walls or my MSTs. They're getting to Return faster than I'm getting to Warning or Torrential. And it finally dawned on me about the third time somebody activated Upstart Goblin on me. They have way too much fucking draw support. You know, like, I think right now the game is like kind of flooded with draw power, and there's basically nothing out there to balance it. So now that people are starting to tech Upstart Goblin in various versions of Dragon Rulers, you now combine that with the 3 Sacred Swords and 3 Card of Consonants, which is pretty much considered staple in any versions of Dragon Rulers. I know that the Blue Eyes versions will often run trade-ins, and my boy Tyree Tinsley, name drop, just went 9-0 at Regionals with a Dragunity Ruler version where he maxed out on Reckless Greed. So now we have what was, in my opinion, already the best hands-down deck of the format, reaching uncatchable speeds for most decks. And don't worry, this is where, for the most part, the E-Dragon complaining portion of the video ends, at least after the statement, because, you know, we had a really good thing going this format until niggas like my boy Tyree had to just go fuck it up. Now, we all know in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Draw power is win power. It's been proven time and time again. You know, you look how long the Destiny engine carried decks. I mean, whether that be T-Hero or Perfect Circle Monarchs or Teledad or all of the above, you know, the Destiny engine was good because you had Destiny Draw and then you had Disc Commander. And even when Disc Commander got banned, you got Allure of Darkness. You know, Teledad was so good because it got to its key cards faster than you did, and it just could flat out outpace you. And the answer to having your opponent draw half of their deck turn 1 was Solemn Judgment, sorta. I mean, I don't have a problem with draw cards. In fact, I believe that every archetype should get some draw support. Now, Konami doesn't have to be lazy about it. I mean, they don't just have to make every single draw card say, discard X-type monster, draw 2 cards. I mean, that seems kind of lazy to me. But the problem is when the perfect storm arises with a deck like Teledad or a deck like Dragon Rulers, where you have this offensive juggernaut. You've got this deck that is just a flat-out powerhouse, and it's filled with 6 to 10 draw cards, which the only purpose of these cards is to make this deck operate faster than your deck. It's to get these key cards faster than your deck gets its key cards. Then you kind of feel like we have a problem. I mean, you realize if your opponent opens with 7 Sword and any big dragon, I mean, they've gone through 9 cards out of a 40-card deck. That's almost a quarter of their deck off the activation of 1 fucking card. Now, my question is, why has Konami made so few anti-draw cards? I mean, clearly they have a history of making a ton of draw cards, and often if those cards see too much play, they'll limit them, Allure of Darkness, or they'll ban them, Destiny Hero, Disc Commander, or, you know, who knows what. But I don't really understand why they haven't made any counters to these cards. You know, like, I like Appropriate. I mean, it's a +1, it's continuous, although it's kind of reactive because it's a trap. But one thing I don't like about Appropriate is it kind of reminds me of Maxi in the sense of, if you're playing against a deck like Teledad or you're playing against a deck like Dragon Rulers, there's really nothing stopping them from saying, you know what, okay, you keep drawing your cards, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to flip over Return, and I'm going to OTK the shit out of you, and you're going to have like 30 cards in your hand, and you're going to lose. You know, a Protector of the Sanctuary is much better in my opinion because it gives you field presence, and it can attack. But, I mean, come on now. Everybody knows that the low attack makes that card extremely unattractive. You know, so here's my thought, and you guys just tell me if you think that this card is too broken. Basically, it's Thunder King, same exact stats and everything, but neither players can draw cards outside of their draw phase. And my mindset is this type of card would basically only punish people who are playing, you know, 5 to 7 draw cards. I mean, and at that point, I think that you deserve to be punished if you're going to play that many cards where they don't actually do anything for your deck other than just give yourself speed. I mean, they don't actually have legitimate purposes in your deck. I mean, they're not cards that you can use in a bunch of different situations. It would also completely kill any versions of Exodia, and for the most part, I mean, don't we all hate playing against that shit? You know, if you're just playing a deck where, you know, you're playing like a Cards for Black Feathers and our Allure of Darkness, you're really not going to be that affected. I mean, that's 2 cards out of your 40, but it would also deter people from playing, you know, which seems to be a trend right now, you know, throwing 3 upstarts or throwing 3 Reckless Greeds into your deck just for the sake of being fast, you know what I mean? A card that only works in one situation, and you're just doing it so that you can outpace your opponent. Because it's clear that, you know, the history of Yu-Gi-Oh! Has shown us that defense does not keep up with offense. It's just never going to happen. So, I mean, we kind of need some way to counterbalance this. And again, it stuck out like a sore thumb during the Teledad format. Teledad was so much fucking faster than everything. And I kind of feel like draw power speed is kind of like rearing its ugly head right now. Like we had a good thing, and then everybody started throwing upstarts and Reckless Greeds into everything. And it's like, okay, well now Dragon Rules are just like flying over every single deck that they come across. So let me know what you guys are thinking. Maybe I'm completely off basis on this. Thank you guys for watching as always, and take care. Subscribing makes life happy.